All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So let's find our seat. I'm so sorry, you guys, if you hear my security system, I don't know what's going on with it, but it keeps saying things like motion sensor. So you might hear that every once in a while. I tried to turn it off, but it won't. So anyway, let's find our comfortable seat. And yeah, if you want to do hips, I invite you to take any comfortable seat right now. You could even start in fire log pose if you wanted to. And I can cue you to switch. In fact, I might start in fire log pose this morning, and we'll just get into those hips right away. Bring your hands to your knees and just start by closing your eyes. Take a couple breaths in and out through the mouth and the nose. Don't forget to mute yourself if you haven't done that already. Start to settle in. Wherever you are, let those hips ground into the floor, knees sink down. And if you're anything like me, your spine might be rocked forward a little bit. Bring it back. So there's maybe even a slight tuck of the tailbone, like you're sitting against a wall. Release any tension in your hands or in your jaw or in between the eyes. I can hear someone breathing. Now start to take your attention inward towards your breath. Just notice the quality of it, whether it's deep or shallow, or if it's in your chest or your belly. You don't have to change anything about it, just notice it. One more breath and then we'll switch the legs. So whatever posture you're in, just place the other foot on top. You might notice this side feels different than the other side. Maybe it's more open or maybe it's tighter. That's okay. And now see if you can relax the belly. Take your hands to your belly, and instead of that tightness pulling it in, let it release and spill forward into your hands. Just notice how that feels to let go of that constant pulling in of the belly here. Just let it relax. And then bring your hands to your heart with a little space in between to hold an intention that you set for yourself this morning. Whatever intention that might be for you, make sure it's positive. It's a statement of affirmation. And then release the hands, open the eyes. And from here, let's work on our hips just a little bit while we're down. We will go ahead and let's take our feet and we're going to cross them. So I've got my right leg on the ground. Knee is pointed as straight in front of myself as I can get it. And then I've got the left knee pulled up towards my chest with my left foot crossed over my right thigh, trying to get that left foot down to the ground. Pull that knee into the chest. You can use both hands now. Just sit up tall. Breathe into that outer hip. If you took Lori's class, you might be feeling this quite a bit right now. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now let's take it just a little bit deeper. Extend the right arm in front of you and wrap that arm around the left knee. Put the left hand back behind you like a kickstand and find a little twist. Find that stretch in the spine. I was saying earlier to Molly and John, I mopped my whole house this morning. I hate mopping, it hurts my back, so this feels nice. One more big breath here. And release. And then we'll just switch the feet. So just walk them out. Bring the left leg down on the ground. So now the left knee is pointed in front of you. And I didn't say this before, but you're trying to sit on both hip bones equally, right? A little tough first thing in the morning. This is a pretty big stretch here. So bring that left knee in front of you. Right foot crosses over the left thigh. And just use both hands first to pull that right knee into the chest. Drop your shoulders. I didn't feel sore when I woke up this morning, but I am tight, that's for sure. One more breath, and then we'll take it a little bit deeper. Extend the left arm straight out in front of you, and then wrap it around the left leg. And right hand comes behind you this time. Twist the spine towards the right. Pull the knee into the chest. Really feel that stretch in the outer right hip. If you start to feel this in your shoulder blade, sometimes I feel this in my shoulder blade, think about more of a rounded spine at the top rather than pulling back with that shoulder blade. Use the strength of your arm rather than your shoulders to pull your knee in. One more breath. And then release. And let's come up onto our knees. We'll start with gate pose. So onto the knees. If you need to fold your mat up to make a cushion for your knee, go ahead and do that, or find a blanket, whatever feels good for you. And then the right leg is going to extend out to the side. Right toes point forward. I'm going to try to keep your hips steady here. And let's take the stretch over, arms to a T, and then we'll come over to the left, kind of like our tick-tock. Let that right arm come overhead. Feel that stretch all the way to the right side body. Press into the right foot, the outer edge of the right foot. Stretch all the way from your fingertips to your feet. And then let's come back up. Let's take a quick little counter stretch over to the opposite side. Try to keep your spine long here. You think about tucking your tail, don't arch your back. And then keep the leg where it is. We'll switch sides in a minute. But we're going to fold forward with the chest. So hips are staying up for the moment. Legs are in that same position. And then we're just going to start walking the right foot out to the side. This is for John. Get that stretch in your inner thighs. So your knees are wide apart, right? You're trying to get your belly closer to the floor. I'm on my forearms, trying to keep my spine nice and long. I haven't changed the position of my feet at all. Just feel that stretch in the inner thighs. One more big breath here. And then start to walk that right foot back in. You can kind of heel toe it, and then switch your weight into your hands, and we'll switch sides. So, right knee comes directly under you. Left leg out to the side, left toes pointed straight ahead. Arms out to a T, and then we'll tick-tock over to the right. And really find that stretch in the side body. Press through the outer edge of the left foot. Reach with the right fingertips, left fingertips towards the right. And then come back up. Find that quick counter stretch. Reach over to the left. Remember, keep that tailbone tucked just a little bit. And then release. And we're going to hinge forward at the hips. Come on to the forearms and start to walk the left foot out to the side. You're going to need to move your torso too, so that you're staying in line with your hips. So torso and left foot, go to the left. Find that stretch in the inner thighs. Try to make sure that your feet are in that same position, left toes pointed forward. This is a different stretch than when we do Skandasana. This is much more right in that inner thigh area. And it's more of an internal rotation than that external rotation through the hip. One more breath. And then start to heel toe that left foot back in. Weight comes into the hands. And then let's just take a minute here to sit back. See how that feels. Nice. And then we'll go over onto hands and knees. We'll take just a couple quick cat-cows, and then we'll move into our Surya Namaskar A series. So press up into cat, and then drop the belly down to cow. Press cat, exhale, and inhale, cow. One more time. Pause in your cat, press into the ground, try to pull that mat apart with the hands. Activate your lats. Pull up through the core. And then release. Tuck the toes, push back, down dog. Oh, goodness. Pedal out those feet. And the stretch in your calves, back of the hamstrings. Think about rotating the shoulders away from the ears. So they're doing sort of an internal rotation, like you're bringing your elbows back behind you and the eye of the elbow is forward. And then pause in your down dog. Let those heels try to find the floor at the same time your hips are reaching towards the ceiling, and press the chest back towards the thighs. One more breath. Then let's waddle walk all the way up to the top of the mat. And let's take a forward fold in ragdoll. Keep the feet about shoulder width apart. Find your ragdoll. You can sway back and forth a little bit. Open up through the whole back body. And then if you have your arms crossed, switch the cross so that the opposite arm is on top. Hang out here for just one more second. Then staying in forward fold, clasp the hands back behind you, and then extend through the elbows and rinse those shoulders out overhead. Press your chest towards your thighs. Stretch out those hamstrings and your shoulders. Nice. Release the hands, bend the knees, and roll up to standing. Let's bring our feet together. Come to the top of the mat. We'll move through our flow. Arms come out and up, reach up, and then flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift. Plant those hands, step back, find your plank. Nice solid plank. Remember to press your upper back sort of towards the sky. So you've got that same kind of cat back idea. And then bend the elbows up and raise the rib cage, come all the way down. Come to the tops of the feet, knees lift, chest lifts, elbows squeeze in, cobra. And then release. Tuck the toes, press back up to your plank, and press into down dog. Big breath in and out. Take that waddle walk again, all the way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms sweep out and up, reach up, hands to turn. Again, arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift, extend the spine long. Plant the hands, step back, find plank, and then lower all the way down to the ground. Lift for cobra, and release. Press up through plank, find down dog. Big breath in, and out. Last time for that waddle walk. If you want to move into more of the flow here. So arms reach out and up, reverse lift, all the way up, hands to heart. And if you're ready for that up dog and your jump back, feel free. If you want to stay with the slower pace, feel free to do that too. Halfway lift. Step or jump back. And if you're ready for that up dog, go ahead and take that here, squeeze the glutes. Roll over the toes, hips lift, press back, down dog. Breath in, and out. High on the toes, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Rise all the way up. 2 more, just like that. Arms out and up. And flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift. Move through your flow. Meet in down dog. Big breath in and out. High on the toes. Bend the knees. Come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms lift. Hands to heart. Last time. Arms out and up. Fold forward. Halfway lift. And move through your vinyasa. Let's take 3 big breaths in this down dog. In through the nose and out through the mouth. With each exhale, sink deeper into the pose. High on the toes. Bend the knees. And come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Pause in your forward fold. Let the head and neck be heavy. Press your palms to the ground. So if you need to bend your knees, that's totally fine wherever you are. Open up through your hamstrings here. Get your hands to the ground. Maybe you can extend through the knees, maybe not. Find your edge. Let those legs open up. One more breath. And then reverse swan dive, lift. Hands up, and then to heart. Close your eyes. Lift all 10 toes off the ground. Feel your feet in the ground. See which parts of your feet are touching. Should be your big toe mound. Spot under your pinky toe and your heel. Lift your arches. Feel light in your feet. And hands sweep out and up. Reach up. Flat back. Forward fold. All the way down. Halfway lift. And move through your vinyasa. Meet in down dog. Right leg lifts. Bend and spin that hip open. We'll move through that hip rotation here. So from here, extend the leg to the side. And then bend the knee. Then rotate the hip down to the mat. Knee bend. Open the hip. Extend the leg sideways. Bring the heel in. Rotate the hip square to the mat. Last time, rotate the hip open. Extend the leg. Bring the foot back in. Rotate the hip square. And then step it through in between the hands. Go ahead and put your back knee down. Come to the top of the foot. Chest lifts. Press forward into those hips. Hands come to the top of the thigh. Then arms lift. Stretch out those quads. Nice. Chest comes forward, left hand comes down, and if you can grab your, left foot, a little bit of a twist here with your right hand. Find that twist. Pull your right hip back. Try to find those left toes. Little spinal twist. And then release the foot. Press your hips back. Chest comes forward over the right leg. Extend through the right knee. I'm keeping my hips up. I find a bigger stretch in my right hamstring here. And then go ahead, bend the knee, weight comes back forward. Press the left hand towards the left edge of the mat. Right foot walks to the right edge of the mat. Take that right hand to the inner right thigh and press it out. Open up through the hips. Nice. One more breath. And then walk it back in. We'll come up into lunge. Then put the hands down, step back, and move through your vinyasa. Down dog. Left leg lifts. Bend and spin that hip. Extend the left leg sideways. Bend the knee, foot comes in, then rotate the hips square. Open up the hips. Extend the leg to the side. Bend the knee. Rotate the hips square. One more time. Open up. Extend the leg. Bend the knee. Rotate the hips. Step the foot in between the hands. Right knee comes down. Right top of the foot comes down. Chest lifts. Hands come to the top of the left thigh and press your weight forward. Open up to that right quad now. Arms lift up. And then we'll press the hips back. Left toes towards the sky. Fold over that leg. Open up to the back of the left hamstring. Breathe into that space. Shoulders away from the ears. And then chest comes back forward. This time right hand to the right edge of the mat. Left foot to the left edge of the mat. Press your left hand into your left thigh. Hips press forward. Find that external rotation now in the left hip. So it's a different stretch than we did when we were warming up. This is external rotation rather than the internal rotation. You might find you're open in more way or in one direction than the other. And then heel toe that foot back in. Lift up on the back toes. Hands come down, step back. Find your vinyasa. Hips lift, down dog. Big breath in and out. High on the toes. Bend the knees. Come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Hang out in forward fold. Take your hands back behind you. Clasp your fingers and rinse the shoulders out overhead. Chest comes towards the thighs. Double duty stretch here. Big time hamstrings, big time shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then release the hands back down. Reverse one eye lift. All the way up. Hands to heart. Arms come out and up. Flat back forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift. Plant those hands and move through your flow. Medium down dog. Right leg lifts. This time, bend the knee, or we're going to move into our flip dog. So, to do that, we put our weight in our left hand, and then we're going to open it up towards the right. Right foot comes down. Actually, let's do wild thing. Left leg stays straight. So right knee is bent. Right arm towards the sky. Press into the right foot. And then take your arm and reach back behind you. Really find that arch. And then hand comes back up. Rotate your body back. You're in that bent knee, open hip position. Extend the right leg long. And then step it through in between the hands. We'll come up into pyramid pose. So you hop, step up that back foot just a little bit. Chest extends over the right thigh, hips are square. Let your chest fall over the right thigh. From here, we'll take a quick twisted triangle. Put your left hand down on the ground. Weight comes into the left hand, and we're going to twist the body towards the inside of the right thigh. Hamstring stretch in the right leg. Nice spinal twist. And then release that hand back down. Bend the leg, the front knee, ever so slightly so that you can lift up and then keep it bent for warrior one. So your right foot has toes pointed forward. Left foot, toes at about 10. Heel is flat to the ground. Nice stretch to the back of the left leg. And then release the hands. Set them down, step back, plank pose, and move through your vinyasa. Left leg up, bend and spin. This time put your weight into your right hand, and we'll find Wild Thing on the opposite side. So right leg is straight, left leg is bent, left toe is pointed straight ahead. Left arm towards the ceiling, and then reach it back behind you. Press those hips up towards the sky. And then left arm comes back up skyward. Carefully flip yourself back over to that open hip position. Extend the left leg long behind you. And then step it through in between the hands. Press back, pyramid pose. Find the length in the back of the left leg this time. Try to press that right heel down towards the ground. Let go of any tension in your shoulders. Weight comes into the right hand, which comes sort of close to the left foot. I can't tell my left and right apart today. To the left foot arch. And then we'll twist towards the left inner thigh for twisted triangle. Feel that stretch in the left hamstring. Open up to the shoulders. Then release the twist. Hop, step that back foot forward just a little bit. Bend the left knee. Rise all the way up for warrior one. Press the right heel down. Stay low in the left leg. And then arms come down. Step back, plank pose, and move through your vinyasa. Hips lift, down dog, high on the toes, bend the knees, come to the top of the mat. Pause in your forward fold. Grab your ankles or your heels. Now, bend the knees. Let your abdomen, your whole torso really lay on top of your thighs. Nose towards the knees. And then trying to keep your chest touching your thighs, extend the knees. You may not come straight, that's fine. Move through that just a couple of times. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. One more time. Bend and straighten. And then extend all the way, letting the chest come off, but try to stay as close to those knees as possible. Grab onto those ankles and heels. Pull yourself in. Then release. Reverse swan dive. Lift. Reach up. Hands to heart. One more time. Arms out and up. And flat back. Forward fold all the way down. halfway lift. Find your flow. Meet in down dog. Right leg lifts, bend and spin the hip open. Extend the right leg long. Just hold it here for a moment. And if you can keep it straight, see what this feels like. Keep it straight and then rotate through the hip. Keeping it straight, bring the leg to the side and then rotate back up. Use that rotation in the hip joint only to move that leg from skyward towards the side. Last time, bring it back up. Step it through in between the hands. Rotate that back foot, lift all the way up into warrior two. Pause in warrior two, bring the shoulders down away from the ears. Reach forward with the right hand and then back. Lift through the side body. And then reach forward. Pause in your side angle. Here, if you'd like to take the bind, open up that shoulder, left hand comes back behind you, reaches for the top of your right thigh, if you can grab it. If not, grab for your shirt, whatever feels okay for you. Other option, if you're really open here, you can take a full bind. This is like the half bind. So your right hand reaches under the leg, trying to find that left hand. Full bind. Open up through the chest. Then release the bind. Right hand comes to the right ankle. Extend the right leg. Triangle pose. Left hand reaches towards the sky. Left arm's gonna circle sweep down. And it's gonna bring your whole torso around so that now you're in a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Take your hands, reach them through the legs. See if they can help pull your chest through the legs. Feel that stretch in the back of the legs. Let your head and neck be heavy. Nice, then bring the hands back forward. Let's walk the hands over to the right. I'm gonna take my left hand to my right ankle and try to bring my nose to my right knee. Feel that stretch in the back of the right leg. You can use your arm as a cradle for your head. And then release, walk the hands to the opposite side. Right hand reaches for the left ankle. Pull your nose to the left knee. And then from here, bring the chest back to center. Keep your right foot where it is, where the toes are pointed forward. Left toes are going to point towards the side. And we're going to take the left hand to the left ankle and then open the chest wide into triangle pose. Open up through the right side of the right body, right waistline. Try to bring your whole torso parallel to the floor or the ceiling. Then bend that front knee, come to warrior two. Hips are nice and open, low in the legs. Then reach forward and arch back. And then reach forward for that side angle pose. If you took the bind on the other side, start with that half bind. Right hand is going to come back and reach for the top of the left thigh. Maybe you grab your shirt, maybe you have a strap. And if you want to attempt the full bind on this side, you take the left hand, reach it under you, and reach for those right fingers. Little tip is to stay really low in the legs. It makes it easier. and release the bind. Come back up to warrior two, and then windmill the hands down. Step back, find your down dog. We're gonna lift that left leg, take that same hip rotation. So keep the leg straight, bring it towards the side. And then back up behind you. Back to the side, then lift up. One more time, back to the side. Lift up. Place it back down, down dog. Just lower the knees, press back, find child's pose. Take a little breath here, take a moment. We'll walk the hands over to the left. Let your hips sink over to the right. So you get a nice stretch. The right glute, through the right waistline, through the right lat. Then switch sides, walk your hands to the opposite side. Let your hips shift to the left. Nice, come back to center. While we're here, we'll take a quick shoulder stretch. I'll check on my time. Okay, so let's come down to the belly. We did this last week for those of you that were here. So we're gonna take the left hand out to the side like a T. And then you're gonna take your gaze to the right. And I have my right palm right next to my chest, okay? And then I'm gonna use my right palm to help push me to roll over onto my side, okay? So my arm is straight out to the side still. You can stay here. If this is enough work in the shoulder, just stay here. If you wanna move it a little deeper, take the right foot, plant it down on the ground, right knee comes towards the sky. More would be to take your right arm up. You can pause here, or you can start to bring it back behind you to try to find your left fingertips. Maybe you can grasp them. Maybe you have a strap that you can hold and find a little tension there. Otherwise, just let gravity help you with that motion, keeping that left shoulder wide open, wide across the collarbone. And then we'll come out of it. Bring your right hand back down in front of your face. And then straighten the right leg so it's on top of the left. And then roll back over onto the belly. Bring both hands down by your sides and just wiggle that out a little bit. Okay, opposite side. So gaze comes to the left. This time the right arm comes out to a T. You're going to plant your left palm down by your chest. Use that palm to press your body so you're rolling over onto your right side. And then if you want to take those extra movements, you can plant your left foot down on the ground, left knee towards the sky. The left hand can come forward. You're putting a lot of pressure and weight in that right shoulder, so be careful. And then if that feels okay and you want more, drop that left hand behind you. Try to find those right fingertips or grab your strap. I have such a tight left shoulder. I've had issues with it for years. And this stretch is really, really helping me get it back open. Can't push it too hard, but if I do this every day, I'm noticing that it does feel quite better. One more breath here. Bring that left arm back up. Let the hand come back in front of the face. Left leg comes to lay on top of the right, and then chest comes down to the floor. Hands come down by the sides. Wiggle that out. Nice. And then let's use the hands to press ourselves up. And we're going to come to a Z sit. So I'm sitting more on my left hip. I have my left knee directly in front of me. Knee bent, left toes are pointed towards the right. My right knee is also pointed towards the right. right foot back behind me. So I'm making sort of a Z shape with my legs. And we're gonna work through that hip here a little bit, okay? So we're gonna do, this is a little bit of ballet here. This is called an attitude. You stay in this position and you just lift the back leg off. So you're really engaging through your right quad, or sorry, right glute, lift the leg, and then put it back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Lift and down. And you can let your torso fall forward a little bit. 1 more time, lift and down. This time, lift. Now rotate through that hip, and you're gonna bring it in front of you, okay? So I'm keeping my knee bent still. I'm just switching where my foot is. Now it's in the front. So I'm gonna lift and rotate through the hip, put it back behind. Lift the leg, rotate through the hip, put it in front. Lift the leg, rotate through the hip, put it in back. 1 more time, lift, rotate. This time, grab your ankle, extend through the leg. Sit on both hips, pull your leg towards your chest. You can flex your foot or point it, whatever feels okay for you. Another breath here, try to keep your shoulders out of your ears. And then release. We're just gonna switch it over to the opposite side real quick. So Z sit on opposite side, more weight in your right hip, right knee, right is directly in front of you. Right toes are pointed towards the left. And then I have my left leg extended directly to the side, knee bent, toes behind. Hands down in front of you. Try to just be on your fingertips if you can. And lift left leg off the floor. Press back down. Left leg lifts. Press back down. 1 more time. Lift that leg. And down. Now we're going to move through that rotation. So lift the leg, rotate through the hip, toes come to the front. Lift the leg, rotate through the hip, leg comes back behind. 2 more times. Lift, rotate, toes in front. Lift, rotate, toes in back. Last time, lift, rotate, bring to the front. And lift, rotate, bring to the back. You might notice this is some core work too. So lift, bring it back around, then extend the leg. Pull it into the chest, any amount. Nice. Couple more breaths here. And then release. Now we have the right knee bent in front of us. So let's take the left foot back and we'll find our pigeon pose. So I'm just going to rotate those hips square, straighten the back leg out behind you. All right, be careful of your knee. So you're just trying to get your front shin as parallel to the mat as you can. You're trying to rotate your hips square. And the way you can do that is if you think about pulling your front knee back, your hips will naturally square off towards the mat. Chest lifts, and then we're just going to come down first onto the forearms here. Feel that stretch in the hip. We're going to do this move, something that we haven't done before. If it feels good for you, you can take a twist here. So it's a little bit awkward. See if I haven't done this in a little while. So I'm going to take my left arm and I'm going to bring it towards the right. So I'm trying to come onto my left tricep. Okay. So it is a big twist. You have to be pretty open in the hips. And then the hands come to prayer. Probably don't see it better on the other side. Now I have my right elbow towards the sky. This is a really big stretch in the hips. It's a stretch in the knee too, so be mindful. If this doesn't feel good to you, just come here. Try to bring your chest towards the floor as much as you can. Whichever space you want to work in today. One more breath. If you're twisted, untwist yourself. If you're not, Just press your hands in the ground, let your chest come back up, find that stretch in that right hip and through the front of the left leg. And then we're just gonna roll out of it. So roll towards the right. Okay, and we're gonna rotate around. So now we're on the opposite side. So now, left knee is bent. Knee points to the left. Right leg extends back behind you. Think about squaring those hips. So maybe you can sort of rotate your whole lower body. Bring that left knee back. Find that square position, right? So we're high first, high in the chest, and then fold over any amount. You might start on your forearms. If you took a twist on the other side, you might see what it feels like on this side. If you do that, you're going to come to the back of your right triceps. So you're really rotating. And then you bring your hands to prayer. Left elbow reaches towards the sky. Remember, like I said, this is a very deep stretch in that left hip. If you feel it in your knee, come out. Always listen to your body. And if the twist isn't for you, just stay in that forward fold. One more big breath here. Wherever you are, press your chest back up. And then release by sitting onto your left hip. And bring your body back around. Excuse me, we'll take the wide-legged forward fold now. So start by sitting up nice and tall. So legs nice and wide, hips nice and open, toes towards the ceiling. And find just this length and space in your spine first. Nice stretch in the inner legs. Then you begin to walk yourself forward any amount. If you have your block handy, maybe you have brand new blocks. You can take your block and you can use it as a little headrest. You can use it on any of its levels. And let this stretch be more passive. I really like to do this. Sometimes I can get my chest down, but I've got to be pretty warm to be able to do that. So the block is a great option to just hang out here and work on that stretch without feeling forced. One more breath here. And then we'll come up. Move your block out towards the side. And we're going to take that stretch over to the right. So left arm reaches up and overhead. Try to find the right toes. Gaze under the arm. And feel a stretch in your right hamstring. Across the left side body. And rotate the chest down so that your nose is trying to find your knee. You might take both hands to your foot. Then release, come back to center, and then move to the opposite side. So right fingertips, try to find those left toes. Gaze under your right arm, really try to rotate your chest. And stretch in your left hamstring, stretch in your inner thighs, stretch across the right side body. You might even feel a little bit of stretch in this part of your shoulder. And then come up. Now we're going to work that inner thigh stretch again. So you can either rock yourself forward, move into that position, or you can wriggle into it. So this is the one we're looking for here. I'm going to rock forward a little bit, and I'm going to try to find my weight in my forearms. Now, if this is too much for you, that's a really good stretch. Go ahead and come into it from your knees, and just take that same stretch that we did before. right? So you just have one leg extended at a time. But if you're feeling super flexy, or if it's available to you, you can take it from the wide and just rock your body weight forward into your forearms. Huge, huge stretch for those inner thighs. This is what I want to see you in, John. Your toes are forward, right? Whatever version you're in, and know your limits. If you're on one leg, switch to the opposite side. And then wherever you are, walk yourself out. And then wiggle your legs back together. At my time. Okay. Is that 25? Oh, 23. Okay. One more quick thing, and then we'll move into Shavasana. If you have your blocks, grab your blocks. We'll bring them to the side. And we're going to extend the right leg in front. Okay? So last stretch here for that hamstring. And just take us wherever you need to take it. We're going to try to wriggle down. Maybe you can walk your foot back. So we've opened up the outer hips, the inner thighs, and now we're working on the front of your left leg and your psoas, and the back of your right hamstring. Use your blocks, let them prop you up. Just try to sink as low as you can into this split stretch, Hanumanasana. Blocks are great for this. If you're super flexy, you can put a block under your front thigh and release the hands. You can even bring your hands back behind you. Stretch out your shoulders and your triceps. Work your own edge. Everybody's really different. Everybody's open in different places. Try not to judge yourself or push yourself too far. Know your own limits. And then we're going to release and switch to the opposite side. So wherever you are, you're going to carefully, not like me, bring yourself back. I'm going to bring my forward leg in, really using my blocks as props there. And then I'm going to switch sides. Left leg is going to come out in front. Feel how this feels at first. And then start to open it up. You can see what I'm doing is I'm tucking my right toe and then using that to help bring my right knee back just as much as I can. Try to keep your shoulders out of your ears. Really hard sometimes not to let them creep up. Maybe you can let your left foot slide forward a little bit. Chest is high. My hips always want to open on this. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just a different kind of stretch. If you can keep your hips square, that's really ideal. And then if you want to try that balance, you can move your block or bolster, or whatever you might have, under your left hamstring and reach up. Really big stretch in the legs. You'll see my hips open. They just keep opening, opening, opening. That's my natural tendency. And then wherever you are, you're going to safely move out of this. If you have your blocks, use those, press into those, guide yourself back to a more neutral position. And then let's move the blocks out of the way and just take a moment to sit. Sit on your feet, sit on your heels. Lots of opening in those legs today. Everything, try to come back to a little bit of a neutral position. And then we're going to find our Shavasana. So if you're looking to find some openness across the shoulders, you can use your block or bolster or pillow or blanket, whatever you have. You can put that behind your shoulder blades. I really like this one. I know we've been doing this one lately, but You do whatever version you like to do. And if you have your block, you can actually do it on whatever level you like. If you're more open, you can even do it really high. You can take it on. So this is level 3, level 2, level 1. You might just play with it if you have one and see what feels good for you. Legs can be wherever you like. If you want to keep working on that hip openness, keep your feet together and your knees out. Or if you just want to extend them in front of you, that's fine as well. I'm going to take my block. I'm going to try to find my shoulder blades. And then I'm just going to let my head and neck drape over, be heavy. Arms out to a T. I have my block on level 2. If you have neck issues, you don't really want to do this. You want to make sure you have some kind of support under your head. Maybe if you still want to work this really open position, you can find a pillow or a blanket to put under your head so you're not crushing your cervical spine. Just work wherever you are. Whatever feels nice for you. Let your arms sink down and be heavy. Notice those places that we opened today. Bring your breath into all of those spaces. Bring back to mind that intention that you said at the beginning of class. Just lay here with it, breathe with it for a moment or two. And then if you have a prop, gently move it out of the way. Just come down to your back for a moment. And then whenever you're ready, if you want to, you come to one side. If you want to stay in Shavasana, feel free. Otherwise, roll to one side. Big breath in and out. And then when you're ready, let's find a seated position. Hands come to heart. Bow the head. Bringing that intention to mind once more. And thank each of you for practicing with me this morning. It's always a pleasure to start my day this way. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Namaste.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know how to make it stop recording. That's fun. Oh, there we go.